Hey, welcome aboard, everybody. It is the Thursday edition of Heading Back to the Window with Scott and Scott. I am your host, Scott Steehn, lead handicapper at winnersandwiners.com.
And I'm your co-host, Scott Reichel, senior handicapper over winnersandwiners.com.
And together we do this every day, so we're glad you're here. Don't forget to stop by and check us out tomorrow, not just for the regular show, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, but vroom, vroom, it's NASCAR. Do you know where we're going this week, Scott?
I actually do not.
Fontana, California.
Daytona's cousin.
Daytona's cousin. Yeah, it's a weird track, so it'll be fun.
In my defense, I always do my NASCAR research the day before the show. So I'm doing it later tonight.
Very good.
If you asked me that question tomorrow, I would have known where it was.
By the way, don't forget to do Clar. I forgot to talk about it in the meeting that we just had for an hour. So I'll say it.
I didn't forget.
I'll say it on there. Well, you forgot last week. So
beautiful thing.
You forgot last week, so that's what I'm saying. Don't forget.
Google Calendar, beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is. Crash landed in the house and on the way to work, fellas. You ready to talk a little NBA? Absolutely. Welcome back to the NBA. G Money checking in, and hello to you too, G Money. Temple plus 12. Big X is in the house. Nathan Cerna. Scott's Kentucky screwed me first half money line, but I did manage to hit a 5-team college basketball teaser for 3 units. Okay, well.
I said I liked the under in that Kentucky game.
I know you did. I like the over, so fuck off.
What's up?
Yeah, I know. Oh, dude, I had a horrible day. Horrible. Plus, I had food poisoning. So, remember people were like saying that I looked tired and shit? Yeah, I did. And I felt like crap. I got off the air and it just started coming out. So,
no, but I'm saying, from what?
I've narrowed it down to either a red pepper that had a couple soft spots in it, but I cut them out and used it anyway. Or I had some crab, like the fake crab stuff that I made a little crab and guacamole salad, and said the date on it was the 24th. I used it on the 22nd, but I don't know. Those are the two culprits at this point. But it was
I don't know how bad it was, but assuming it was terrible, I'm gonna go with the crab.
Yeah, it was not pleasant. It was not pleasant at all, my friend. So yeah, I didn't even do videos last night. I just because I looked like crap. I did some research. I did a couple premiums, but I wasn't sure I could sit anywhere for 5 minutes without making a stop. So anyway, that's it. Oh yeah, and I missed every game. The fucking world's in flames. It's colder than shit. It was a terrible day. Just a terrible day all the way around. The dieting man's best friend. No shit, Magellan. Dude, I'm down 10 pounds in without the food poisoning. So I don't even know I haven't weighed today, but I'm down 10 pounds.
Now you're down 20 pounds.
Probably. It could be another 5. I like eating seafood as fresh as possible. Yeah, dude, that's in Missouri. That ain't happening. That's the problem. That's why I got it. Well, I got a fucking prepackaged thing at Aldi, and
yours is also imitation, so that helps.
I know better. It's basically white fish with some orange shit painted on it, and they go, it's crab. So,
but the white fish could still be bad. So
yeah, no question about it. So it's good to be here. Of course, I want to remind you guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, all that stuff, and check out our pal Chris King over there doing his thing on Just Parlays. Chris and Jim. Let me tell you something, dude. This guy. He's fucking on fire and he's hitting the parlays. I may have to rethink my whole life about not playing parlays because this week he hit a 4-teamer, and an 8-teamer. An 8-teamer. I don't even know what that pays. I'd have to look it up to see what an 8-teamer pays. And then last week he hit 4 2-teamers, a 4-teamer, and a fucking 6-teamer. And they're all there. It's not bullshit. It's not like fucking somebody put it on Twitter. It's on his videos. That's hard to believe, man. That's a year. If you play that right, that's a year's worth of profit right there. Fucking 8-teamer. Listen to his show. It's incredible. And he's like a senior version of you. He's got a very not quite didactic
analytical mind?
No, I was talking about memory, not quite a didactic, even didactic memory, but just a very good memory for sports. So, yeah. Ryan Page, Chris King is on fire. Yeah, if you guys listen to him, you know I'm not bullshitting you. So, and if you don't listen, you should. So, I know that's a lot of time to carve out for us. That's we're asking for 2 hours of your life. So, I know, but yeah, Ryan Page said he had a 3-teamer for $1,000 yesterday. Had a 13-teamer yesterday. Arkansas killed it. Arkansas State. Oh, God, no pressure, Scott. No pressure. Chris King has great powers. That's why I started listening like an autistic genius. I don't think he's autistic, but yeah, I'd go with the genius part. Denver -4 against Sacktown tonight, Scott. Should we just fly into the NBA?
You smell that?
Is it the NBA coming back?
It's a little fishy, that one.
Oh, don't even start with it. I don't even want to talk about that. I don't even talk about a bad fish smell.
Just saying, though, that Denver line does look, I'd say, questionably short. I actually like Sacramento in that spot, but I'm going to stay away completely. Denver was... I got to ask you, though, in general about the NBA, because this is kind of the main underlying theme that people recognize but don't really know what to think about. What are your thoughts on teams that were playing really well or really poorly entering an All-Star break coming back?
I think you'd have to look for the reasons. If some of the guys were banged up, if you had some injury problems, some guys that were in and out of the lineup, or maybe they were out for a couple of games, you give them 5 days to get well. So I think that's a huge plus. But as far as like the streaks go, I don't think that does much one way or the other to cool them off or heat them up. You?
I'm not really sure. I feel like every team's a case study, but Denver was playing arguably its best basketball of the season going into the break. Sacramento was not, but now Sacramento is back home. They can potentially hit the reset button. Denver looks like the obvious play. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I do think that Sacramento has some talent that Denver can't exactly match up with pretty easily. Like, you're looking at Denver. Of course, nobody can guard Jokic. You look at the rest of the team. Do they have a lot of talent elsewhere? Not really. You look at Sacramento. They're not a good team, but does Denver have anybody to put on De'Aaron Fox? No. Do they have anyone to put on Sabonis? Not really. Do they have anybody that really matches up well with Harrison Barnes? Not really. I do think Sacramento has some pieces that could give Denver's defense some issues, so I'm going to go with the Kings.
Okay. All right. Very good. Hey, before we go too far, don't forget to check out our buddies over there at BetMGM. Doing a couple great deals right now. Of course, all the details are in the show description. Basically, Scott, now the NBA's back, $10, $200 if somebody hits a three-pointer. All you got to do is bet $10 on any NBA game, and you get that little bonus. And, of course, it's a free first bet, once again, up to $1,000. All you have to do is deposit $10 or more, and then the first bet is pretty much on BetMGM. So, yeah, there you go. Somebody asking about the Marshall Middle Tennessee contest here for today. Middle Tennessee, Scott, good team. They've been a good team, especially like you said, against the number and at home. 9-2 at home against the spread. They've been good as a favorite. 11-2 against the number, so they beat the teams that they should beat and take care of business. Very good in conference play. This Marshall team has been a train wreck for, I don't know, pretty much most of the season. They've had a little rally lately, winning 3 of their last 4. Meanwhile, the Blue Raiders, Scott, won 6 straight, covered 5 straight. I think we're getting a pretty good number there. It's another fishy number if I'm telling the truth, because 6.5 seems almost a little short against this Marshall team. Having said that, I don't want any part of the thundering herd right here. What about you, buddy?
Well, we had the story, same exact story, the last time Middle Tennessee played. They played against UTEP at home. Money came in on UTEP, and I didn't care because Middle Tennessee State was undefeated at home. I believe they were laying 5 in the end, and they smacked them. So now you have Marshall, who is 3-9, both straight up and ATS on the road. They beat Southern Miss on the road last game. Congratulations. Southern Miss, hell of a team. What have they lost, 10 in a row?
Yeah.
Like, they're atrocious.
Not good.
I'm going with the Blue Raiders because at home, they will really just bend anybody to their will. And yes, Marshall has talent, and they could keep it close. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm going to go ahead and go with the Blue Raiders here.
I have to. They played this game about 3 weeks ago in West Virginia there, and Marshall was actually favored by 2.5. Middle Tennessee won it outright by 2. This is a Marshall team that likes to put up some three-pointers, but we've talked about them before. They're not particularly good at it. They shoot less than 30% from distance, but they can get hot. So the games where they have won, they've gotten hot from beyond the arc. So we'll see
It's
how.
also the defense. I mean, you got D'Antoni's brother, who's the coach. You're not going to guard anybody. I mean, that's kind of what Marshall does, isn't it?
Yeah, it pretty much is. So we'll see how that one goes. I think you and I are both on Middle Tennessee State there. Murray State -3. Does that smell a little bit? Could that be bad crab, Scott?
It definitely does smell a little bit odd, but Belmont's a psycho team. I mean, we've talked about this Belmont team the entire season. They're 24-5, so record-wise, they're good. Of course, they're going to need to win the conference tournament to actually make the tournament, so they're one of those teams. But Belmont's a team that you want to trust, and then as soon as you're at the finish line, they blow a game and you're back to where you started. I can't trust Belmont. Murray State, the entire season, has been extremely solid. They're 26-2. They're 14-0 straight up at home. They're 8-2-1 ATS. Belmont does look like the potentially sharp play because of how low the line actually is. I'm still going Murray State because Belmont could play well. They also could play poorly. Murray State's just more consistent to me. So I'm going to go with the Racers at home.
Yeah, this is a Belmont team that I think has a lot of love from their past performances. I think they've been a little bit overvalued in the market all season long, and if anything, they've been overvalued lately because they have won. What have they won? 10 straight, and they have failed to cover the last 6 in a row. So that's
actually just impressive. That's like Kansas City Chiefs last year territory right there.
Yeah, it really is. That's exactly what you're doing there, because it just speaks to the way this team is perceived by not only the books but the betting public as well. So. For me, it's Murray State or pass. I've got to do it. I'm not going to bet against the Racers at home. The only time they've even pushed at home was a 20-point line against Edwardsville, where they just ended up winning by 20, and that's a fucking crapshoot to me. I don't give a shit about that. If somebody's a 19-point favorite and they win by 18, that doesn't mean they suck, against the number.
You're pulling the people with like 5 minutes to go. I'm not going to overreact to that. But
very true.
I mean, Belmont could easily win the game. Of course, they're a very talented team. I think we would agree that it's not even close. These two teams are the best two teams in the Ohio Valley. Murray State's better, but they're easily the best two. I don't think it's really close, but I'm going with Murray State at home because kind of like Middle Tennessee, they're undefeated at home. So until you go in and beat them, I'm not going to assume they're going to lose.
Yeah, good point. Good point indeed. Belmont played this one at home last time and put up 60. So I'm
assuming they lost that game, by the way.
Yeah, 82-60. Now I'm not predicting a repeat of that. I wouldn't be surprised. They've stepped it up offensively the last 3 games. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get to 68, 70. I don't think that's enough. I think Murray State can take care of business.
I like the over in the game. I think you'll see points. There has been a little bit of an uptick towards the over.
Yeah.
I do agree that Belmont offensively just had a brutal game for the first time around. I think they'll do better. I think they'll probably score 70, something around there, maybe even a little bit more. But Murray State could really push 80 here. I just think they're that good at home.
Yeah.
I'll take the Racers.
Very good. All right, let's take care of business here. Let's review yesterday. See if anybody had a better day than I did. By the way, don't forget to like and subscribe today, or we're all getting invaded. So.
I heard that Putin was really rushing to go to war.
Stop it.
Thank you.
Stop it.
I'll be here all week. Thank you.
Yeah, enjoy the crab, everybody. All right, so let's find out how it went down yesterday. Some people that I can certainly relate to here. The people that, the winners, the whiners, the happy people, the sad people, the people that took it in the shorts, and the people that took it to the bank. It's the Thursday version of Call the Cops. All right, let's start it off, shall we? We'll take a look in college basketball, of course, and we almost need to have our own segment for just this thing happening right here. It's Florida Gulf Coast Liberty under 145.5. You know how that works, kids. You capped it right. You beat it by 13.5 points, except the end of regulation, it's tied 66-66, and they didn't screw around in the OT. They put up 154. You're 145.5. It went bye-bye. Bye-bye. Call the cops.
And looking at hockey, if you had the Oilers plus 1.5 against the Lightning, you're down 1 with less than a minute to go, and you know they're going to pull the goalie. You were doing pretty well, though. You just needed to last about 5 more seconds. Didn't happen. Tampa Bay scored the empty netter with 4 seconds left in the game. Edmonton lost 5-3.
All we need is 4 more seconds. Come on. Come on. No, not so much at all. All we need is 1 pin, Rodney. You know what commercial that is?
No.
You ever seen that? Okay. I'll find out who's old by whoever remembers that in the comment section. Finally, looking at the Big Ten. If you had Wisconsin, Minnesota under 134.5, 132 with 1 second left. Hey, Gopher bench guy. How about trying out that fucking 3-pointer? Boom! There you go. Hey, it ends up in a game that nobody cared about. The 3-pointer doesn't matter. They're blowing them out. But, dude.
They were not blowing them out. They won by 1.
Oh, that's right. They win by 1. That's right. So it's just a don't foul situation. That's right.
Wisconsin was up 4. Minnesota called a timeout with 1 second left anyway because
give it a shot.
You got to draw up that 4-point play, I guess. And Wisconsin let him shoot it.
You do that Curry leg kick, you get fouled on the 3-pointer. You know, shit happens. I get that.
I think Wisconsin was already on the bus by the time that he shot the 3. I don't think anyone was going near him.
Well, surprisingly enough, I wasn't watching that game. I was, yeah. Anyway, so it wasn't quite meaningless, but he didn't get fouled. So anyway,
yeah.
Suck a bag of dicks if you had the under 134.5. Sorry there. All right. So there was some good news yesterday. You had to look hard to find it, but there was some good news. There were some nice, easy wins. You know who you are because you were snoozing. You were taking a little nap right there in the rocking chair.
So, first one, if you had UCF -2 against Cincinnati, you were in good shape. They led by 13 at the half, and they won by 14.
I think that's actual recording of you at like 3 in the afternoon, isn't it? Or maybe no, now it has to be later, maybe 5 in the afternoon.
Maybe. 4:55.
If you had Southern Illinois, good defense, Scott, good defense. Minus the 7 against Illinois State. Southern Illinois led by 25 at halftime. Nicely done, boys. They won by 21. Congratulations if you had Southern Illinois minus the 7. Rocking chair for you.
And the last one, if you had Northern Iowa and Indiana State over 143.5, each half had at least 81 points. Game landed 170.
That'll do, Pig. That'll do. All right, let's check out the comment section here. The Leathernecks, that's right. Had the over. Love that kid from Minnie. There you go. David Good said Wisconsin has brats. Did you eat bratwurst when you were up in Wisconsin? Did you ever have a all beef Johnsonville or anything?
No, I did not.
March Madness sneaking up 3 weeks away till March Madness. Had the Avalanche. Took them off at the last second. Thoughts on Hofstra tonight? Okay.
By the way, JC gas prices might be $5 at some point, but it's free if you hit a couple of parlays. The gas starts paying for itself if you win enough bets.
Listen to Chris King, man.
Yeah. A couple of 8-teamers and you're never paying for gas again.
8-teamer. Fucking
8-teamer. Wild.
8-teamer, man. That's unbelievable. Yeah, I hit a 10-teamer. I've been talking about it for 30 years. Fucking he hits like an 8-teamer or 6-teamer every week. Like,
we call that Tuesday.
Yeah, that's Tuesday over
Chris
there.
King household.
Just parlays.
John, we already covered the Belmont Murray State game. We like Murray State, and
Murray.
I like the over also.
Gonzaga future plus 450. Great. No,
I mean it's the same story every year.
Yeah.
I mean they look pretty good at a conference. They beat up on the local milkmen in the conference, and they're going to be the 1 seed. I mean, I don't really know what more you want me to say.
Going to be the 1 seed.
WCC.
Going to be the 1 seed in the West.
I was going to say though, WCC's been even worse this year because BYU might not make the tournament. They've fallen off a cliff. St. Mary's is still under the radar, pretty good. San Francisco's good.
St. Mary's is a damn good team, buddy.
I know, but I'm saying like nobody really follows them, and they're also beating up on the weaker teams in conference.
Yep.
And San Francisco's been okay, but they have a couple of questionable spots. I'm assuming they'll get into the tournament, but maybe not. It's the same story every year. You just pencil Gonzaga in for the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight, and can they beat somebody? And that remains to be seen.
You want to lay 14 with Hofstra tonight?
Hofstra, very prideful. I'll make that joke every time.
Against the Elon Musks? I don't know.
Against the Elon Musks of the world? Oh, God.
Elon's failed to cover their last 4. Meanwhile, Hofstra is winning basketball games, but they ain't covering.
Elon beats Wilmington the one time we backed them, and I don't think they win a game for the rest of the year.
No, that's about. They beat James Madison. Congratulations.
Good for them.
Yeah,
congratulations.
No shit. And then Hofstra hasn't covered at home in the last 4 games. So
I was gonna say 14 is a ton.
No, I hate both these teams. I gotta be honest.
I was gonna say there are a lot. I'd say more attractive.
Hofstra blew them the fuck out about a week and a half ago.
I'd probably go with Hofstra, but the point is there are a lot more double-digit spreads I'd rather lay than with Hofstra, because Hofstra is a psycho team.
Put it this way: if my luck continues, I know I'm not going to win. There's just games I'd feel better about losing.
Yeah,
in this one. Man, isn't that right? Like I have a great start to the week, and then I have like an average Tuesday, a little bit down, and then I have a horrible Wednesday, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'll never win again. Jesus.
Well, that's what I basically said on yesterday's show, was that we hit everything on Tuesday, and it's like, all right, you know how this is going to go. Wednesday is going to be a bit rocky, and that's pretty much how it went. So hopefully we bounce back on Thursday.
Absolutely. David Good says St. Mary's is one of those few Division I teams in the sport that actually makes money. No football team. No football team at St. Mary's, huh? Well, there you go. That's a nice little.
Too busy praying.
A nice little tidbit there. That gas theory is a good one. We just need to cash more parlays. There you go. Fuck yeah.
There you go.
That's it. You hit a 4-teamer at once a month. You've paid for your gas.
I mean, that's the thing. I have a couple of futures pending, and suddenly the vacation pays for itself.
Do you have Russia minus the points?
I do not. Yeah. I got Russia money line.
Good. They're a good visiting team. They do well.
They have a lot of numbers.
They do well on the road. They've got numbers, bud. They
got numbers, man.
Arizona 11 minus Utah at Utah. Yes. I'm not even looking at it, but let me break it down here. Meanwhile, I'll let you weigh in with a more thorough look.
Well, I see somebody ask Magellan talking about how you can buy a Tesla. You can forget about the gas. If you back Hofstra and you win, I'm not encouraging it. But then you can afford a Tesla by fading the Elon Musks. I don't know what more you want. But anyway, Arizona minus 11 against Utah. I mean, I mentioned my thoughts about the Pac-12 in the past. I think the Pac-12 is a bunch of psycho teams. But Arizona, I might have just caught them on a bad day against UCLA because they've killed people. I mean, this team just boat races opponents. I got to go with Arizona, don't I?
I think so. I'm trying to find out any reason why I wouldn't do that, but I'm not seeing it. This Utah team has been pretty much underwhelming most of the season, if not all of the season. So, yeah, for me it's Arizona or pass, even on the road. And you know how much I love laying points on the road in conference games. But
I'd say let's be a little bit generous towards Utah's defense. Let's say Utah gives up 78.
Okay.
Are we sure Utah gets to 68?
Nope.
I can't take Utah. That's like best case scenario, 78. Like Arizona can come out and score 90 and nobody would be surprised either.
Yeah, that's and Utah's got some injuries they're dealing with. So
yeah.
Brandon Carlson is beat them by 18 about a month ago. Didn't cover though. Line was 19. Fuck off.
In Arizona, 7-2 on the road, straight up and ATS. Utah could keep it close for a little bit, but Arizona, I just think, has another gear.
Mm-hmm.
And Utah just doesn't have it. So if Arizona does sleepwalk, then Utah will be close. If Arizona wants to make a statement, if they want to actually, show out, they can win by 25.
There you go. What are you talking about, JC Stone? Weed, sports betting, and concealed carry. Paradise.
Arizona. State of Arizona.
Oh, okay. Now, see, in Missouri, if you, and I think this is, I don't know if this is nationwide or maybe just Missouri. If you have a legal weed card, you can't have a concealed carry license.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, interesting.
Weird. And 120 degrees in July. That's right. I'll pass on the concealed.
It's a dry heat. It's a dry heat.
You know what? So is an oven. Nobody's fucking spending the spring in there. It is brutal. It is. I told you this before when I went down to spring training in like in March, and you get up at 10 in the morning, and you can that sun feels like it's about 8 feet away. It is
walking across the street in Las Vegas when it was 114 was definitely an endeavor.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing. So, a couple things we want to talk about here. So let's get to it. As far as other things that happened yesterday. Let me get everything set up here, man. Sorry, we're back and forth. All right. Oh yeah, we have to talk about this because I had the over in this game. You want to talk about how indicative Mount St. Mary's will ass punch Sacred Heart. Okay, thanks, Garrett. Ass punch, Scott. That's not good. That's not good at all. So let's find out why, indeed. Once again, we're not mad. We're not guys that get mad, but we are just a little bit disappointed. Okay, so I'll take this one. If you were playing the Evansville Loyola Chicago game last night, well, if you were on Loyola Chicago, congratulations, you covered. I don't know what your number was. You covered it because
I think it was 20.5.
Evansville came out in the first half and they put up 19. And you say, well, that's not ideal. I had the over in that game, by the way. It was a system play. I didn't, and so Evansville said, you know what, 19, that seems like way too many points for us. So they come out the second half and they put up 12. A dozen, Scott. They end up with 31 points. And no, that's not a StatFox misprint. That's for real. They lose by 51 points to the Purple Aces. 51 points. So they don't get to the over. But Loyola Chicago certainly covered. What the fuck, dude? 31 points? Come on. What are we doing?
We know Evansville's a bad offensive team. We've mentioned it time and time again. 31. At least average 1 point per minute. Get you to 40. You know, you gotta at least try to put the ball in the basket.
Yep. Can't get a point a minute. 1777 memorabilia says Duke at 14-1. When the NCAA is a good bet because you can hedge in the tournament. Yeah.
As you know, I believe it was actually Magellan who mentioned it a couple of weeks ago about Duke potentially to win the tournament. And then we said Virginia might be live in the game, and then Virginia beat Duke outright. The main reason why I'm not a big fan of this Duke team is I don't think the bench is any good. And I feel like if Bonchero or really just any of their best scorers have an off night, they don't really have many alternatives. Their bench is atrocious. So even though Duke, of course, has talent in their starting five, they really seem to let teams hang around in most of their games.
Yep.
Like they lost to Florida State. They barely beat Wake Forest at home. I know Wake Forest has been an okay team this season, but Duke, for me, the question is, do I think they can piece together a consistently solid 2+ weeks in a row in March?
No.
I don't. I don't think they're good enough.
No. I mean, they might be able to get you through the second weekend.
Yeah.
You know, I think they're certainly expected to get to the second. What is Duke on the 3 line now? I haven't even looked. I've looked at Lenardi for certain teams, but I haven't looked at him like overall. You looking at it? You know what it is? Duke on the 3 line?
No, I do not know what that is. But
all right.
I know Summer mentioned a team that I'm kind of interested in.
Okay.
Mentioned Kentucky. Kentucky is a team that's starting to win me over. Now, they would have been better if Sharp was able to play this season. He officially was ruled ineligible for the season, so he was supposed to come back top 10 prospect, and now he's not going to provide the firepower Kentucky would have gotten for a tournament run. But anytime that you're going to dominate on the glass in any game you're in, which Kentucky is, because Shigwe is the favorite to win player of the year, I got to be tempted. Kentucky seems like they have a squad, but based on Calipari's history, what is that, an Elite 8 loss?
Yeah.
A Final Four loss?
Yep.
But I do like that Kentucky team a lot, though. I think they're very good.
David Good says NCAA championship should be determined by coaches who punch best. Coach K looks weak.
If you want to go by the punch theory, I'm taking UConn. Because Hurley's a guy who will put everything he has into a punch or two.
He'll do it. He's not going to throw one of those open hand slaps like Juwan Howard did.
Oh, he's going to clock you and then pump up the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, he's ready to go.
If he's next time he's going to make him. He's going to get his money's worth for that tee. That's what I'm saying to you. So,
but the thing about with the NCAA tournament, just to go through the teams here, Gonzaga's the best team. Am I betting them plus 450? Hell no. I'm not betting them at plus 450. I think Kentucky.
If you like Gonzaga, that's a good number.
If you like Gonzaga, it's good. But we've had this discussion the whole year. You could have just taken them preseason when they beat UCLA when they beat UCLA by 30 in like the second game of the season, and you could have got them at like 6-1. So I mean, yeah, Gonzaga's the best team, but we've seen it time and time again. Do you trust few to finally win the big one?
No,
I don't at plus 450. So I think Gonzaga should be in the Final Four, but you want to go down the actual teams. I think Kentucky's definitely live at 9-1. Arizona, I find extremely interesting because I really don't know what to think of that team. Because Arizona, talent-wise, is arguably the best team in the country. Like, they're insanely talented, but they go so fast offensively that so many of their shots are just such low quality because they kind of follow like a 10 seconds or less rule, you know?
They're like the old Citadel offense that they ran a couple seasons ago.
They will chuck it. So I do think Arizona, shot selection wise, they could maybe get upset, but I like that team. My sleeper team to make a somewhat deep run,
Auburn.
I was going to say Texas Tech.
I
really like that Texas Tech team.
I don't hate that.
And offensively, they do have issues, and they also have a rookie coach. They just kill people, Texas Tech. They bend people to their will. I really like that Red Raider team. I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're good. They're a good, solid team. They could come out of the Big 12 and surprise people again, like they did. I would say 2 years ago. 2 years ago was canceled, so 3 years ago. But
I got to see what that number is. But every time I watch that Texas Tech team, I'm impressed.
I'm looking. I don't even.
They're probably going to be in the 20s.
How am I missing them? I swear to God, dude, I can't find it.
I see 25-1 on DraftKings.
Very nice.
I don't mind it. I mean, Texas Tech, if they can find ways to consistently score, 70?
Oh, I've got them at 28. There it is. I found them. Yeah.
I was going to say, if they can find a way to score 70 points in a game,
yeah,
they're winning that game like 90% of the time because defensively, they just crush you.
I'd rather put it this way. I'd rather play Texas Tech than I would Auburn.
Auburn is a team that I've watched time and time again. They didn't cover against Ole Miss yesterday. I believe we had that. I just don't think Auburn is consistent enough to make a deep run. But you have any thoughts on Kansas?
The state or the team?
The team.
No.
Lovely state this time of year.
Well, unfortunately, they don't get to play K-State in every tournament game. So this is a team that is pretty consistently underperformed in the big dance. I don't see anything that I especially like about this team. They've worked their inside game pretty well. I still I don't love their guard play. And that's,
I'm just asking because we know they're in good form lately, but we've seen this movie before.
Yeah, I'm not getting involved in them. If I was going to play a Big 12 team, I'd probably play Baylor or I'd play Texas Tech before I'd play KU. Somebody said I liked Purdue. Bronco Devil said I liked Purdue until recently. Man, I've gone through. It's like dating a crazy girl with me in Purdue. I loved them, then I hated them, then I loved them, and then I hate them again. David Goodson.
Matt Painter will single-handedly prevent any way that they can win.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. Problem with Duke is they don't have any seniors, veteran players. Yeah, that's the problem with a lot of squads. With the one and dones or the two and dones, whatever. You don't have a lot of veteran leadership, and that's. Sometimes you see teams like the mid-major teams make deep runs, and it's an all-senior team. I think that's a very important thing when it comes to that time of year. Okay,
you know which player does give senior leadership to his team though?
Is it Timmy?
Timmy, yeah. Well done, you got it.
Thanks,
bravo.
All right, so we promised to talk about a little NBA, Scott. We got the NBA back. We got 7 games tonight. So let's talk about that. You know, we talked about you. You said you were on a show earlier today. You had to give out your favorite dog, and you looked at Detroit catching 6 from Cleveland. You don't hate that, right?
I like that number, especially with Garland and with LeVert being out. It seems like a pretty good spot to catch points. Of course, you're backing Detroit, but this is really a very good spot to back Detroit. And if you don't think it's worth backing, then you're probably never backing Detroit for the rest of the season.
Never backing. Don't even come sniffing around next time, because there'll be no next time.
Yeah.
Somebody was asking about.
Well, you mentioned the dog part. If you want to go really nuts for an underdog,
Do it.
Oklahoma City.
Do it.
I don't mind it.
Thunderstruck. Yeah.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's back, so that definitely helps. Of course, they're missing Dort, but now you still have Shea with Giddey. But you're looking at the Suns. I think they're the best team in the league. I got a lot of features on them. However, it's the first game without Chris Paul, and I have to wonder if Phoenix is going to struggle with no Paul, no Cameron Payne, so you have a third-string point guard leading your offense. I don't think they should be laying 10. That line seems a bit absurd on the road.
But no Dort. No Dort.
I like Dort too. But I think you would agree with Chris Paul being out and with the front court depth issue for Phoenix. Do you really want to lay 10 on the road?
No, I don't. Again, they're going to have to adjust without Chris Paul. Am I the only one that hears Dort and immediately thinks of Klaatu, Barada, and Niktu? Do you know what that is?
I know what that is. I mean, that could be you.
Okay. It could be.
I don't know.
It could be just me. Hey, somebody asking about UAB minus 15. God damn. This is a good UAB team that plays a lot of that doesn't play much defense. Very, very prolific offense. Going up against UTSA.
They're so bad. UTSA, they're so terrible.
They really are. They've been okay at home as far as covering the number goes.
They're 2-13 in conference play, so it's not pretty.
UAB blew them out last time, 15. Yeah, this is that time of year we go, well, that's a really tall number. And it's also the time of year when teams are blowing them the fuck out. So, UAB or pass.
I did an article on this game for StatSalt. I liked UAB in the over. Over's gone up like 2.5 points. I just think the pace is going to be there. I like UAB team total over.
Yeah,
I mean, UAB underratedly, like top 50 offense in terms of efficiency in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And UTSA is like bottom 30. They can't, on defense, they can't stop anybody. They gave up 95, I believe, to La Tech last game. I know it was on the road and all. UAB should really walk into 80 and change.
Gotta think so.
I gotta like the team total over there too.
So what do you? So what are you getting there at 149 or 74 and a half, 70? So looking at 83.
That's a little low.
Team total. Okay. JC Stone says won't Booker be chucking it up tonight versus OKC?
That's my point. I feel like Booker's the only guy they have. Yep. And you can make an argument that, who does Oklahoma City have? And that's fair. But if your offense goes so heavily through Chris Paul, and now he's not there, and let's say Booker ends up going for a bit of an off night. Let's say Booker has 30. Not that efficient, still drops 30. You think they cover 10?
No, No, that's the thing. I would think even a better play would be play first half as they try to figure it out without Chris Paul. Somebody, Summer Sweat said, I hope Durant comes back soon so I can get shorter lines when fading the Nets. Oh, Boston, Scott. They were red hot. They lost their last game before the All-Star break. They'd won 9 in a row before that. Against BKN tonight, Brooklyn catching 9. That's up from whatever the fuck it was, 6.5, 7. I might have even opened better than that. Can Brooklyn do anything to get in front of Boston? I know you like to play. Look at the lineups for tonight, and it's not a pretty game when you look at that Nets lineup. Any hope for your home team there, buddy?
Not really. The first time that they played, or I should say the most recent time they played, it was the largest bet I ever made on the Celtics.
Right.
And they won by 35. Like, they just killed them.
Yeah.
I think the biggest loser in this game is TNT, because TNT has to broadcast both of those games involving the Celtics and the Nets, which is just a disaster for ratings. But You can make an argument the Nets will look better because Seth Curry is now there, Drummond's now there, whatever. But this team is so bad, just based on the actual talent.
Yep.
They lost by double digits to the Wizards last time out at home. I want to make a case for the Nets in a revenge spot. I can't do it.
Yep.
I got to go with Boston. They at least have talent. I'll take the Celtics.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think a little bit of the value's gone. You start getting up in the 9 range, that gets a little sketchy for me. I would have been involved at 6.5 or 7. I'm probably not going to get involved at 9, but
I'm looking at maybe a Nets team total under.
Yeah,
I'm just not sure how they get to 100.
That's a good point. Chicago taking on the Hawks. Now this game has actually come down a little bit. Scott, have you got it at 3?
I see it mostly 3.5.
No, I don't see any injury news that would cause that to happen. What do you think here?
Well, my play today was on the over. I got it at 234.5. I believe it's 240. So we better win this damn bet. I mean, you beat a 6-point line move. I hope for the sake of the over we can cash it. But
yep.
I'm going to go with Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's telling you that Atlanta's probably going to play well because of how the line's been moving. Chicago's at home and they got Levine back. John Collins probably out for Atlanta.
Yeah, John Collins is definitely out.
I mean, like I kind of have to like Chicago here, but I still like the over. The first 2 meetings landed exactly 248. I don't know how the line opened up at 234.5, but I said thank you very much and I took it. I think each of these teams gets to 120. So I like an over. I think Chicago potentially gets to 130. It's Chicago or pass for me, but I do like the over. Maybe not so much. Maybe not as much now, but I hope for our sake we cash it because we beat a huge line move on that one.
Brad, we talked about MTSU. We both like it against Marshall. The only caveat there, you have to worry about Marshall getting hot from 3 because they'll shoot a shit ton of them. But
yeah,
MTSU's been very good at home, so we're riding them there against that number. And last game we're going to look at here, Scott, Memphis on the road, where they have been outstanding, 21-8 against the number. Heading up against Minnesota, which has been a decent team, both at home for 15-13, and this month of February, where they're 6-3 on the season. I'm not stepping in front of this Grizzlies team. I'm sorry. Any thoughts there?
I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to step in front of this Memphis team.
Okay.
And I feel like it's one of those trap lines as well. You see 1.5 with Memphis, and you're just going, who fell asleep at the wheel?
Yep.
But the home team's 3-0 in the 3 meetings this season. The real interesting play here for me is the total in this one. I actually like the under. And I'm really not sure why the total is around 239, 240. See, for the Bulls game, I get it. Because the first 2 meetings landed 248. Like, that makes sense.
Right.
You look at the first 3 meetings this season, and the first game landed in the 240s or 250.
Yeah, 243.
Range, but that went to overtime.
Okay.
So that went under in regulation. Second game landed 233, and the third game wasn't close either. I don't really know why this total's at 240.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last game was probably the most indicative, and that landed 224.
I like the under.
You got the game back in November where it landed 233, but Memphis lost by 43. So I think it was
38.
I think we're gonna no. It was 30. It was 138 to 95 was the final score.
I thought it was 133, but it doesn't matter. Point is they got buried. Yep. But I don't know. I feel like it's one of those spots where if you're gonna have 2 huge totals of 240, and one of them have had the first 2 games fly over, and the other one has 3 games in regulation that went under by a couple of points, I don't know why this total's so high.
Yep. Got Booker over.
I'm not going to take the under on Booker. I mean,
the
thing is, I feel like if you like Phoenix in this game to cover, I don't. But if you do, just parlay it with Booker over, because the only way they're going to cover this number is if Booker goes for like 35. I think you'd agree with that.
Yep. There's no other way around that, man. Okay. Well, that's about a wrap here for today. I got to put one more point in here. We still got I've still got an Arkansas State left over. Hang on, let me change that out, and then we'll be good.
All I know is that for the actual spread in that Minnesota game, Memphis, of course, looks like the obvious play. It looks a little too trappy for me. So I'll look for Minnesota, but that total does seem a bit high.
I ain't falling for no banana in the tailpipe, man. That's what I'm saying to you. All right, here we go. Let's get ready to do it, my friend. We time to start a new streak. Had a decent week, but we did go down in flames last night with the Red Wolves of Central Arkansas.
I've never seen a Red Wolf.
No, you didn't see any scoring last night, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what we got cooked up for today. You guys know what time it is. It is time to put on those overalls, adjust your straw cap, climb aboard your John Deere, get out your car keys with that lucky rabbit's foot, and fire that motherfucker up because it's time once again. We came up with this today. It's going to work better when we win, but I'm going to say it now because I'll forget it. It's time to unleash. We got a name for him. It's the Cash Cow, Scott. Get ready to bet the farm. What say you, Cash Cow? All right, here we go. Scott, what do we got cooked up for today?
So we skipped the game in the NBA, and it involves one of the best teams in the league, and we're going to back them. We're going to take the Warriors minus a 9.5 to come out and play against the Trailblazers. This is the third meeting this season. Golden State won the first two meetings by 10-plus points. Portland's projected starting lineup is not very good. You got Anthony Simons, who has been very solid. You have Ellerby, you have Josh Hart, you have Justice Winslow, and you have Watford. And the reason why the lineup is so poor is because, of course, Lillard is injured. Nurkic just got ruled out for a month, so he's out. And Covington, McCollum, and Powell all got traded. So this might be a bottom three starting lineup in the league. It's an absolute mess, and I think Golden State could very easily win this game by 20. And to go through some efficiency numbers, Golden State ranks tied for 8th in offensive efficiency. Portland ranks 19th. And in defense, Golden State ranks 1st, and Portland ranks tied for 26th. Portland really should get buried if Golden State tries at all in this game. We think they will first game out of the break. Give us the Warriors to win by double digits.
There you go. Back on the train here with Bet the Farm, so that'll do it for our Bet the Farm play. Big fans of the Warriors tonight. Get your bottles out and clink them on your fingers as the Warriors play and cover that number. That's going to do it for the show for this Thursday. Once again, we thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget to stop by and check us out each and every day, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. And tomorrow, we'll be doing our NASCAR show with Chris King, the one and only. Maybe I'll have some NASCAR parlays for us. Fuck, that'd be cool. We'll be doing that about 4 p.m. Eastern time. So stay tuned and check that out as well. You guys have a great day. Good luck on all of your plays. Once again, thanks for joining us. Come back tomorrow and see us as Scott and I will once again do our very best to help you to head back to the window. Take care, everybody.